In dramatic scenes in Brazil, the lower house of Congress has voted to impeach President Dilma Rousseff. She's accused of manipulating the federal budget to shore up support for her struggling government. In the past couple of hours, lawmakers reached the two-thirds majority needed to pass the measure. Proceedings will now move to the Senate, which can vote by a simple majority to put Rousseff on trial. A separate vote will decide whether to suspend her and hand over the top job to the vice president. Well, our correspondent Anelise Borges is following the story from Brasilia. She explained what lies ahead now for Dilma Rousseff.
It took more than 6 hours for that magic number. 342 votes were needed, two-thirds majority for that motion to be approved here in the lower house of Congress tonight. Final score, 367 votes in favor of impeaching Dilma Rousseff. So the lower house of Congress sent a very clear message to the embattled Brazilian president. But Dilma Rousseff is not going to be leaving the presidential palace tonight. This procedure is not over. What it means is that now the motion will go to the Senate, and the Senate will have up to 2 weeks to create a commission to vote on accepting the motion. If they do accept, and a simple majority would be enough to accept the motion, then a trial will begin. That trial could take up to 6 months. During that period, of course, Dilma Rousseff is expected to be suspended from office, and her vice president, Michel Temer, would take over. But there are negotiations still underway. They could come to a sort of an agreement. And according to local media, the Workers' Party would meet on Tuesday to try and gather support to call for an early election. And that would avoid the procedure to get to the Senate, and it could see Dilma Rousseff spared this shame. But that, of course, would require Dilma Rousseff having enough support in the lower house of Congress. Any kind of early election agreement would have to be approved by the lower house, and she clearly doesn't have enough support there anymore.